Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. Uh, Pretty tight night today, as I've got a pretty big meeting with my for my company tomorrow. So I try to keep this really brief. But as we know, there's a lot of DC extended universe news that has dropped. The Birds of Prey, and how Birds of Prey actually had two scripts to it, but the one things that's similar in both scripts was that there's going to be Harley Quinn and there's going to be Batgirl in it, right? So that's the only things that are similar in those two scripts, with among other characters. Now, I've already said that it's quite possible and probable that one script was Birds of Prey, the other one's Gotham City Sirens, and they both share a number of characters that may be the same, which is Harley Quinn and Batgirl. So they've decided maybe combine it or some way. So not real big news, but that they're saying that Justin Crowe also said that Suicide Squad 2 will probably shoot right after Birds of Prey. So they really want to get that out. They really want to get it together. And to the fact that Birds of Prey is not really a new thing. They've been talking about a Birds of Prey type movie in 2016. So that's been around for a while. And it could probably be part of the original timeline set forth by Warner Brothers back in the heyday. It's only been 2 years. Was Zack Snyder as part of the creative team, the creative effort, and part of that. So I've already talked about the 5-part story, that Superman story, and that's probably one of the original ideas of the universe. Maybe it evolved from there, not sure. It could be the last fifth movie with Flashpoint and resetting of the universe in a way and towards so that they can tell other stories, or maybe all these other stories are like prequels in a sense, kind of like how Wonder Woman is a prequel to Batman v Superman, to Man of Steel. It's prequel to all the movies, in fact, at this point. It could have been it, where there have been a lot of different prequels, and Birds of Prey could have been a prequel in itself. So it's kind of something to be said about all these different articles and bloggers who kind of come out and they say, well, after Justice League, it's going to change. Oh, they're going to change again. And that could be true. That could definitely be true. The slate has kind of changed. We haven't heard anything about Cyborg movie. Not that is not going to happen, but it seems to be still headed its way from more or less headed its way similar of how it had before. We're still going to have Aquaman. They haven't changed that. Aquaman's coming out. They're going to do a Wonder Woman 2. Shazam kind of changed from Black Adam and Shazam now, sure. But the Birds of Prey thing, the Green Lantern Corps still looks like it's still on the table, maybe. And everybody is saying, well, it's Walter Hamada, right? This whole Walter Hamada issue is that he has come in, he kicked Joss Whedon out. They cleaned up the crew. Kevin Tsujihara even said that it's time to not try to be Marvel, be our own thing, director driven. We're gonna go for that. We're gonna go fully into that, and a lot of DC fans are mixed about that, especially how they handled the Snyder situation. So I understand that fully. And Shazam, they're saying, well, look at Shazam, it's gonna be a lighter movie. Well, Shazam was always going to be a lighthearted film in any case. But the thing is that Walter Hamada has not really come forward. He has not made a public announcement or statement of what he's doing or what he's involved in. And so it's very up in the air at this point. Now, Aquaman is coming out this year. And it seems like now that they're starting their press tour, it has been confirmed that that James Wan and his crew, including Jason Momoa, is going to be at Cinemacon this week. So this Tuesday, there is a Warner Brothers panel at the Cinemacon, and that's at, what time is it at? 4 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. This is in Las Vegas, so I'm thinking it's going to be around, Pacific Standard Time, I believe, 3 hours for me, so yeah. So Warner Brother Pictures invites you to The Big Picture, an exclusive presentation of its upcoming slate, hosted by Toby Emmerich, Chairman, Warner Brothers Pictures Group, Ron Sanders, President, Worldwide Theatrical Distribution, Home Entertainment, Jeff Goldstein, President, Domestic Distribution, Warner Brothers Pictures. Of course, they're telling you not to use audio or video in electronic devices. Probably going to show some major stuff, and I'm thinking Aquaman's gonna be there. So someone already, Paul Shirey, I think he already has a picture of Aquaman on the escalator or something, so you know that that's going to be part of that, and probably have a teaser trailer. Is that going to be in the public? I don't know. Hopefully that'd be kind of cool to get actually a public view of that, but maybe we're just going to have tidbits of what's going to be shown at Cinemacon, right? And so interesting to have Toby Emmerich there. The other times had Kevin Tsujihara there, so Toby Emmerich's going to be there. I don't know if Walter Hamada is going to be there. You know, it'd be quite a thing to have Walter Hamada be there and actually talk about the DC slate. Now this is Warner Brothers, so you have your Harry Potters, so you got your Fantastic Beasts. There are probably other movies in Warner Brothers slate, maybe even Godzilla. So Godzilla's maybe be there too. So CinemaCon is an interesting thing. This is something they have to really wow and put a lot of faith bring faith back into the movie theater experience, into the movie theaters. The people who have movie theaters, who own the theaters, are going to come to this, and they have to sell to them. They have to sell to these theaters that our movies are going to make you money. People are going to be filling the seats for these movies, so they're going to have to do their best. These studios have to do their best to sell to these movie theaters so that they open up your movies in their movie theaters. So I think they gotta hit it big and hit it hard. And so what's gonna happen there? Aquaman's gonna be real big, right? And they're gonna have to show a positivity towards the DC slate. It's on a negative run down here, as you know. The theaters, it wasn't that big of a splash. Justice League, this is supposed to be big superhero movie. Justice League, it didn't have a big splash, you know. Not a $1 billion splash. I don't know what they were. Maybe the theaters were thinking the same line as, oh, it's going to be an Avengers movie or something. But it was like a $600-something million. So it's a huge splash, but not a big splash as I think the movie theaters who are coming to CinemaCon want, right? The movie theaters who come to CinemaCon, they're like, well, that movie is going to make us a lot of money. Let's get more seatings for that. Let's so they're the customers here. They're the customers here. So they need to be sold on your movies and sold on the DC slate. This is what Warner Brothers has to bring, even more so than like San Diego Comic-Con in the case, because these movie theaters are going to have to show your movie, and you want them to show your movies. So San Diego Comic is going to be huge, but I'm thinking there's going to be something here that is going to be different than just like WonderCon, right? WonderCon was still a comic book driven thing. So CinemaCon is about movies. So and the confidence in those studios giving those movies, right? So I think it's going to be an exciting Tuesday. I think we might have some pretty big news drops of the DC film slate. Now, I wanted to get into some rumor, tinfoil hat, as I've recently had conversations with Kenny Andreessen, and I talked about him yesterday too. He told me about, and I think someone also mentioned this in our my podcast with Dave's Film Junkie, that I should be reading some of Paolo Eduardo's comments, and I was trying to look for Paolo Eduardo's comments on all these, but his name actually pops up as Lord Apollos Cobri, and if I say that correctly, I'm sorry, but looking over his comments, and I was looking through all my videos, I was searching for his name because Kenny has been saying you should check this guy out. So I don't know who he is, I'm not sure, but he seems pretty confident, and he actually talked about, before we knew about CinemaCon and all that, is that there is a chance of a Snyder Cut dropping, and he says around the time where Aquaman teaser about ending or mid to end of April. And so, well, that's coming true because Aquaman is going to be shown at Cinemacon. They probably want to sell that Aquaman to the movie theaters by showing a teaser of some sort. So that's true, and it is mid and April. But what is this whole thing about the Snyder Cut, right? So he's hinting that. He's been talking about that. He's been talking about Walter Hamada is returning things to Zack Snyder's vision. Zack Snyder's back. He's making his cut, and it is compelling. I don't know who he is. I'm not sure, and he's probably going to listen to this video and maybe put a comment down below here. That'd be great. But I love to hope and to think that he actually has sources and he actually knows something that the other industry people don't know. In terms of these bloggers who are saying Snyder's Cut doesn't exist, please stop talking about it. Let's move on. But there are a number of people, including some people in the YouTube I know that have people they know, and there's something coming, and I don't have sources of my own. This is just people talking. But if he's right, hey, tinfoil hat, yes, put it on. But I'm hopeful. I mean, it's better to hear something than nothing, I guess. And if they have these things where there's like timelines of saying there's gonna be something happening and during this time, I like to, well, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, right? And if it doesn't happen, well, maybe it wasn't that meant to be. But if it does happen, hey, I think out of all possibilities, Cinemacon and San Diego Comic-Con is the two most places that could happen. Yeah. So, I'm very hopeful, and I have faith that they are thinking of something. There's like Walter Hamada, who has been hired on, and he's got some new people in his staff, even though they're behind the scenes, and they're running a tight ship. And the fact that these creators are now speaking out, trying to change the story a little bit of what happened with Batman v Superman, and knowing full well that Justice League is not what Justice League is. I mean, even Zack Snyder hasn't watched the Justice League in theaters. He doesn't get what we mean by the brunch the brunch joke. So that whole brunch thing was not, and you already know that. So the whole brunch thing was not his idea to begin with. The Flash joke with Superman or Batman, whatever. So in that movie, so I'd like to think and I'd like to believe that they're being more outspoken because they know something's coming. I like to think that Zack Snyder is posting something because he knows he's doing something, right? And that'd be great. And he's still in Warner Brothers camp. He hasn't been fired from Warner Brothers. That's why he's doing the last photograph with them. It is a Warner Brothers studio. He was still under them. He was possibly allegedly let go from Justice League, and we know, or he quit himself. Not sure, but we know Joss Whedon's gone. We know John Berg's gone. We know Jeff Johns is more in an advisory role. We know new person Walter Hamada is in. We know Kevin Sugihara apologized in a way for trying to be copying Marvel. He made a statement of himself. And we know CinemaCon's coming. We know that there's an Aquaman trailer coming. And we know that relatively the timeline that was set in place for a while seems to be relatively the same. It hasn't been major jumps and changes. They're not saying there's going to be a new Superman movie with a new Superman. They haven't rebooted anything. Aquaman takes place after Justice League. They've already said that. Wonder Woman 2 exists. Shazam exists. There's no reboot in any case. No resetting of the universe. So it makes you wonder what type of story are they trying to tell you now? What is their goal here? Are they trying to get back to that original vision of what the universe was before studio has tried to make it more mainstream? before, Jeff Johns try to add more hope and optimism by accelerating optimism. I think maybe that's the problem. By accelerating the hope and optimism, it was just too fast. So, and too blatant, I guess we'd say. So, I don't know. I love to believe this Paolo guy. I really do, and I'm really crossing my fingers and hoping by Tuesday we've got some huge things to celebrate, whatever that is. But in any case, we know for sure Aquaman is definitely there, and then hopefully we'll get to see it. Hopefully we'll get to see some type of material from Aquaman. We just don't. I don't know. They usually don't release things on a trailer, but we'll hear about it. Maybe we'll hear the movie theater people's reactions to it and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. I think Aquaman is finally starting its press tour. I'm really excited that they're moving on. Spielberg is doing a movie. Oh my God, Steven Spielberg. There's possibly another big director going to head another DC Extended Universe movie. That was another Daniel. I don't know his last name. Daniel R. tweeted that out. He tweeted about the big news about the first director, right? And we kind of were wrong. We didn't know that. It blew our mind that Steven Spielberg was going to do that, and it came true. There was a big name director doing that. Now there's another big name director possibly coming on. And some new good news and more good news for the DC Extended Universe coming on. So I love all this. I love all this positivity. I love the creators of the DC Extended Universe actually speaking out for their films. And maybe there's going to be less of that hate bandwagon, although I still see them in my YouTube channel. I don't know why, but why can't we love what we love, right? So very hopeful, very optimistic. This video has been longer than I wanted it to, but I just wanted to share you. And yes, I am really looking closely at my comments. I'm sorry if I didn't catch it before, but I'm really looking at. There seems to be possibly something happening, and if that is the case, then be excited. Then just be excited. All right, guys, that's it for today. Not sure. Hopefully I can make a video by tomorrow. There's been some big stuff lately for me personally, myself. And if not, I just wanted to get this out of the way before the Cinemacon brings up. But there are some videos that I want to make that still maybe could be a tease to the future of certain DC characters. Justin, I know you know what I'm talking about. All right, guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.